This is one the best investment articles I've read in a long time. Actually, good for the newcomers and good for the craft old veterans like me too. From Cullen Roche from 2013. I wonder if they're still doing stuff here. The biggest myths in investing. I just a lot of great stuff in here. Bonds lose when interest rates rise. Indexing is average. I haven't read all these myths, but this one's fantastic. I'm a big fan of this because I've actually done blog. I don't write that much anymore. I like videos, but I used to do a lot of blog posts, and one of my pet peeves is that the indexing is average. No, it's not. Indexing or being a market, being gathering the market returns is better than average, and my man talks about it here, which I think is pretty good. Um, First of all, the term indexing has taken on a whole new meaning. All right, back when America was great, the only type of index funds were big, broad index trackers. In today's world, you have indexing and everything. All right. Anyway, I think there's a myth that somehow indexing as average is intuitively attractive, but is actually wrong. For instance, if you bought all the stocks in the market, then you generate the average return. It'd be like playing fantasy football and picking all the players in the NFL. You'd lose more often than not because there's no way you're going to beat the team that has Tom Brady, Adrian Peterson, Antonio Brown. Remember, this is 10 years ago. Or any of the above average players in the league. But the problem is that this isn't at all how investing works. Using our fantasy football analogy, imagine the average team has 10 positions and every average player scores 10 points. If you own the market, then you get 100 points on average because you generate the average weekly points at each position. But the best teams in the league score 110 points on average because they're loaded with top performers. By being able to pick the best players, you beat the average. But the problem with investing is that we don't earn the average return of the best performing financial assets. We earn the after-tax and fee returns of these instruments. So what happens if the fantasy football team with the best players, when you add in frictions like fees, all right, taxes? Well, imagine your league commissioner docked you 10 points for activity fees for every week and docked you another 20 points for activity fees as a result of being more active. Suddenly, your above average team scoring 110 points is now dropped to 80. You're actually losing to the average because of the fees and taxes. Meanwhile, the league charges the indexer just 1 point for activity. And 10 points for activity taxes leave them with score 89. So basically, the indexer wins by having fewer fictions. Yep, that's what I'm saying. So I 100% could not agree with that more. That's a great, great article. I love the thing on bonds here, too. Bonds lose value if interest rates rise because he has a good visual here. I don't know who this guy is. Big fan of Cullen. Hope he's still around, man. What's on the ground? I love this chart right here. Right here, 7-year constant maturity bonds. So basically, what he says is, right here, you can see the duration risk gets actually not only does it go lower the closer you are to maturity, the higher it goes in terms of the more positive it becomes, if that makes sense. So what happened here is if interest rates go up 1% for the next 15 years, you're initially going to have a huge drop in your price of your bonds that you currently own to this day. But then it'll start going up pretty, I don't want to say exponentially, but pretty significantly as you get closer and closer to maturity. It's a great, great chart there. I love it. So what's happening here is, frankly, as you get closer to maturity, the duration is going to work for you because you're going to get quicker and quicker returns to your par value of the bond, 100%. And he talks about that too. But a lot of people say individual bonds are safer than bond funds. But this isn't accurate, he says. Individual bonds expose you to significantly more individual entity risk. And as I've shown here, a constant maturity bond fund is just as safe as an individual bond when it's held for the right holding period. Unfortunately, the liquidity of bond funds often lures the investor into treating the long-term instrument as a short-term instrument. I could not agree more. That's 100%. You're looking at short-term instruments with your liquidity you need and using long-term instruments to fund the short-term liquidity. That's bad. In fact, I'd argue that the ability to see your daily price fluctuations in bond funds significantly increases the behaviorally induced risk of short-termism in bonds. Right here. Some people might argue this is a good argument in favor of holding individual bonds, but I disagree and continue to argue that is not a flaw in bond funds, but as rather a misunderstanding that reflect an investor's goals. The individual bondholder will have to repurchase new individual bonds every year in order to maintain the same constant maturity portfolio. This would result in a greater single entity risk, higher costs, and lower average returns. It should also be noted that a 7-year individual bond purchaser only holds a 7-year bond for a brief instant in time. After that, the bond becomes a 6-year, 5-year. I 100% it, man. I could not agree more with Colin here. Let's see what this guy's doing now. I haven't. Hopefully, still. Hey, he's still out here. Right on, man. Good on. I like this guy. I mean, look. He's got a picture of Homer. Another picture of Homer. That's pretty cool. All right, good, man. All right, I'm a money multiplier myth. All right, good. The risk of deflation. Holy crap. My man Colin, the risk of deflation is now a greater risk than prolonged high inflation. Damn, this guy's a man for my heart. Good looking, too. If I went that direction, I'd say, Colin, I'm willing to experiment. This too shall pass. Right on, man. Good stuff. Hey, I'm a big fan. So read this guy's article, subscribe to his blog. I'm not sure if he's got a YouTube channel. Let's see. Does he say if he's got a YouTube channel? I hope so. Let's see. Contact us. About us. I write my predictions. My books? All right, let's take a look at his books. I can't see what that says. The best investment writing? Okay. Ooh, I'm going to read his research papers. Cool, man. All right, so I'm going to put a link to this guy's stuff. Big fan. He's in San Diego. I don't understand modern monetary system. Understanding modern portfolio construction, quantitative easing, hyperinflation is more than a monetary phenomenon. All duration, but okay. Anyway, right there, 89,000 downloads. To 2 for all duration investing. All right, cool, man. Yeah, good stuff. So I'll put a link in the show notes and read his stuff. Thanks. See ya.